Whoa. First this... First for real this time? Yes. You were indeed the first. You've beaten everyone. How does it feel to be on top? Oh.
Here we are, right outside her place.
There's a chance that my maneuver may be, deceased after accepting that quest.
Do you still remember the first time we came here? We even brought offerings and everything. And when we told her that Rex Lapis had been assassinated, she immediately threatened to squash Liyue Harbor. Paimon thought she'd be impossible to get along with. But now that we've spent some more time together, she's really not like that at all.
Oh, so it's refreshing? See.
We probably don't need to bring any offerings now that we've gotten to know her pretty well, right?
Wait a minute.
Paimon's
No!
somewhere, so if she really wants something, we can just do that.
Oh, let me, Hi, Foxy. You didn't say anything. Hello. Hello, Foxy. Thank you. Yeah, Final Fantasy is looking a little funky. Paimon's in it. It's a collab. Have you been?
Huh? Traveler, did something catch your eye?
I've been enjoying Final Fantasy 14 recently. A little bit too much.
Whoa, what a pretty lady. Is she also here to visit Cloud Retreat?
Ooh, watching anime? With friends? Hell yeah. Have fun. Have a good dark. And thank you. And tell me what the anime is when you got the time. I wanna know.
Yeah, you're right. All it takes is one look and you can tell she's someone special. As expected of that bird lady, really. She must have a whole bunch of Adepti friends from all over the country. Okay, but if we're both friends of Cloud Retainer, then we're basically friends by association, right? Want to go up to her and say hello? Helping you make more connections is a part of Paimon's job as your reliable guide. Paimon's got this. Hello. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Paimon doesn't think we've met, but we're also friends of Cloud Retainer. May we have the pleasure of learning your name, Madam Adeptus?
You two...
Oop.
What is this tomfoolery? Has the shift in form so clouded your eyes that you no longer recognize one anymore?
Wait, you're... Huh? You're the illuminated bird? But you look... human! How did that happen?
Oh, donning human form is scarcely any test of one's abilities. As for your confusion, one merely had no reason to indulge such inclinations before.
So, you're indulging now because...
Well, one has made plans to pay a visit to some disciples at Liyue Harbor. Taking on a human form for such a trip is simply a way to make matters less conspicuous.
The Eminence in Shadow? It was funny. I see. Have fun. I don't think I've heard that one before.
You? Worrying about keeping a examples, like last year, when you suddenly appeared on the top of a roof without any warning, or... Hey, didn't we agree not to bring that up unless she asked?
Oh? So you have taken care to follow the proper rules of etiquette after all. Most commendable.
Well, this is all Paimon's got. You don't mind, right?
One has never found oneself lacking in basic comforts. On the contrary,
Alright.
it's the gesture that one values above all else. So long as you've shown proper respect and consideration, the quantity or quality of the gift is but a trivial matter.
That kinda makes Paimon feel a little guilty for trying to keep them for herself. Anyway, where were we before you reminded Paimon about the gifts? Ah, right. So by disciples, you must mean Ganyu and Shenhe. It's also been a while since we last saw them. Maybe we can come too.
One planned to extend the invitation even if you had not raised the matter yourself. Shenhe and Ganyu should be quite pleased to see you again. However, one would first inquire as to the reason behind your visit here. You have cause to seek one's company?
Yeah, we just found ourselves missing you and wanted to see how you were doing. We were hoping you'd tell us one of your stories. Who knew we'd run into your human form while we were at it?
Is that so? If there are no urgent matters at hand, then let us make haste for Liyue Harbor. Ganyu is likely still working at Yuehai Pavilion, so that shall be our first stop.
Sounds great! Then let's all go to Liyue Harbor!
Ganyu has been quite busy with work as of late. One can count on one talon the number of times she returns to Mount Outsong each year. Shenhe has also secured employment recently. In her correspondence with me, she wrote that she shall have no need to return for the foreseeable future. They think one was so easily mollified. One shall investigate everything with one's own eyes and decide for oneself if their living conditions are satisfactory.
When are they gonna give us a dark mode for this? Ah! Tired of the bright lights.
We're almost at Weihai Pavilion! Hey, do you think Ganyu will be shocked to see Cloud Retainer like this? Guess we have no idea if Shenhe and Ganyu have ever seen her in this form before. Wait, where did she go? Why are you just standing there, Cloud Retainer?
Quietly now. One shall stay here. You two can go and meet with her.
But why? Isn't it better if we all go together?
If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, Ganyu would surely profess herself otherwise unoccupied and drop everything to attend to one's visit. One fears that would only result in her staying up all night to make up for lost time. One does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice. Do remember to inquire as to her recent well-being. Again, do not mention one's presence here.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Alright then, we'll just pass on your regards and...
Cloud Retainer?
Already. Already spotted.
Busted.
Is that lady someone you know, Miss Ganyu? She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting for a little bit? I believe my schedule today is quite full. Although, perhaps I could move some work to later in the evening.
Oh, not to worry, Miss Ganyu. I'll make the necessary arrangements right away.
Thank you, Huixin. Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud Retainer, too. It's been quite some time since I last saw you in this form.
You are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this Cloud Retainer of whom you speak. One is simply a mere mortal passerby.
Huh?
Seems she's not buying it.
That was but a simple test. One did not expect you to be able to recognize one so easily, especially after so many years of only seeing one's other form.
But recognizing you is, my responsibility as your disciple.
An apt observation. One was simply passing by while attending to some important business. One thought it would only be fitting to pay you a visit while in the area.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of any important.
I'm
Cloud Retainer's right. We've still got something super important to do, so we can't stay here for too long today.
Oh, is that so? But it's been so long since we last saw each other.
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work. A quick conversation should suffice for today. A more involved reunion should wait until you find yourself less occupied.
I understand. That should be fine.
While one acknowledges the amount of work that you have to deal with every day, one must also remind you to rest. Though Adepti blood flows through your veins, excessive exhaustion will still cause grave harm to your body. It still makes one nostalgic to see you as you are now, respected and independent. When you were young, you oft begged one to cuddle you to sleep when you suffered from nightmares.
Cloud Retainer! Stop!
If you insist. We are running short on time regardless, so one will refrain from going into each and every story. Why don't you continue your conversation? One shall simply stand by and listen.
Wow, you've been to so many new places since the last time we spoke. If you ever need anything, please just come find me at Uehai Pavilion. Also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer, but if you plan to continue appearing in this form, don't you think it'd be helpful to adopt a human name?
A human name? Huh. You raise a valid point. Considering the sheer extent of one's renown, Cloud Retainer is surely too recognizable as a name.
You really think so? Not that you're not famous or anything, but that famous?
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible. Nevertheless, Ganyu's advice cannot be ignored. From this point on, when in public occasions, be sure to refer to one as Shenyun.
You're gonna call her mommy instead of Clavitator? Loud mother.
I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of
She
years
is quite
past would
mom-like.
rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered. The writer referenced Master's name to describe her carefree and spontaneous nature.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of Adepti could rise with the clouds and rest with the moon.
Actually, those lines were originally written to describe Cloud Retainer herself.
Huh? Wait, so you're really that powerful?
And what of it? Did you truly take one to be nothing more than a bird of bigger than average size?
Not exactly.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past accomplishments. The tales of her past can only be found in ancient texts. It is said that once, a long, long time ago, there was a severe drought in Liyue. Left with no choice, many people left their homes, while others spent day and night praying to the Adepti. Although I did not live through such tragedy, simply reading about it is enough to gain a visceral understanding of all the pain and desperation during that time. On top of the drought, a noxious gas also began to spread through the land. If not for Cloud Retainer's efforts, much of Liyue would be nothing more than a barren wasteland today. The books had this to say about what happened. Upon arrival, the Adeptus borrowed the wind to retain the clouds. Immediately, the clouds gathered together, and abundant rain burst forth from the heavens. Drought and plague were both driven away, and the people were saved.
That's incredible!
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past events. One did merely with one ought, and even if one had not interceded, the other Adepti would surely have stepped in to help.
Even so, you stopped an entire drought! Can you really control the weather like the book said? Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you. So it was Paimon's bad for calling you Illuminated Bird before. You're not too mad, are you?
How laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our journey through the world. Why would one be offended by such a trivial matter?
That's a relief. In that case, Paimon will continue to call you whatever feels right in the moment.
Well, that is quite enough ancient history for now. Ganyu, have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job recently. Have you any thoughts on her workplace? And what, pray tell, of her monthly remuneration? Moreover, does she find herself overly inundated with work? Is she allowed time off during Lantern Rite?
That is a lot of questions.
There is no cause for concern, Cloud Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally. Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming recently. So, with Chef Mao being swamped with customers, and Shangling still off and out in search of new recipes, I introduced Shenhe to staff the restaurant.
I see. Most excellent indeed. One has had the pleasure of being introduced to that family. Shangling is kind and astute, while her father is loyal and reliable. One has no cause to believe that they will make Shenhe's work difficult. Now, it is almost time to partake in the victuals of noon. One shall visit Wanmin Restaurant in
Victuals.
person and see how Shenhe is doing.
Huh? But didn't you
Victuals?
just say that you had something important to do?
Can that wait until after we've eaten?
You may return to your work, Ganyu. One shall see to this matter on one's own.
Oh,
There
means
will be
food.
many an occasion to dine together in the future. One is certain the opportunity shall present itself most readily.
Victuals means food.
Of course,
That's
Cloud
weird.
Retainer. Please take care. Traveler, Paimon, I'll see you some other time.
See you around, Ganyu! Paimon was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation short and not take too much of Ganyu's time. Is Paimon right?
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us. Still, the truth will be revealed to you in time.
She really seems to be playing up the whole mysterious Adeptus thing right now. Is it because we just heard that cool story about her powers?
No, that's just her personality.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, how can I not? Not even fine food is enough to distract from the presence of a fine lady, huh?
Oh, I'm far more interested in getting her details than ordering any dishes. Hey, how about you ask her?
You do it.
No. I think you should. Wait, she's coming.
What can I get for you today?
Greetings, miss. I was just wondering if you'd be willing to...
What would you like to order?
Nope.
2 servings of more meat to go. Oh, good chat. Bye.
Welcome. It's been a while. May I take your order?
Don't welcome us as guests and greet us as old friends in the same line. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is?
This is Miss Xinyun.
Master?
One does not recall ever revealing this form to you before. How were you able to ascertain one's true identity with such ease?
I've trained and lived with Master for more than 10 years. I would recognize you no matter what form you take.
You...
Is something the matter, Master?
Hardly. Hardly. One simply learned of your employment from your letter and came to check on your well-being.
And check out the great food, too.
Indeed. It's almost lunchtime. My apologies. I'm still on the clock and can't talk for very long.
Well, if it isn't the traveler in Paimon. Are you here for Shenhe? The
Yeah.
lunch rush isn't in yet, Shenhe. So I've got things covered for now. Go ahead, sit down and enjoy some time with your friends. I'll let you know if things pick up.
I love it when bosses
Thank you,
do that.
Chef Mao.
Like, yeah, I get to talk. Well, that's one way to get through.
It is just as one expected. The owner of Wanmin Restaurant is indeed a most reasonable and accommodating human. Still, the work here entails dealing with quite a varied group of people. Has this been difficult for you, Shenhe?
It's been manageable so far. I sometimes run into strange people, but I have figured out a way to deal with them.
Seems like you've been making progress. So by dealing with them, you mean...
First, I try to talk sense into them. If that doesn't work, I threaten them with violence. At this point,
I mean, sometimes my
usually
boss lets
decide
me do
they
that.
are in favor of a civil conversation.
Does that make me a hero?
How should Paimon put this?
Oh, a sensible plan. One is gladdened to see you integrate so well into human society.
And you, Master? How have you been?
Simply marvelous. Though Mount Outsong has scarcely enjoyed your presence recently, one has hardly found the pleasure of one's own company to be lacking.
I see. Oh, just as expected of Master.
Me? I'm just a silly little fox dragon. Hee hee.
I have missed Master quite a bit too. Even though work has been busy lately, I've already had a conversation with Chef Mao about taking some time off soon to visit Master.
Oh, you did? Do make note of such matters in your letters in the future. There's hardly a need to keep one in suspense.
Whoa. Her mood shot up just like that.
By the way, Master, since you are in Liyue Harbor, have you had the chance to visit Ganyu?
Indeed. She is similarly preoccupied with her work. There was time only to exchange a few simple pleasantries.
Ganyu told us the story of Cloud Retainer's name. It was amazing. We never knew how powerful she was before.
I see. In that case, allow me to also share a story about Master's past.
Oh?
Oh?
Is that a problem, Master? I believe this to be a good topic of conversation.
No, not a problem. One was simply caught off guard. But no matter, please, proceed. One is most curious to see how much of one's own conversational prowess you possess.
Master once participated in a race against Mooncarver. After Mooncarver lost, he insisted that Master's ability to fly gave her a natural edge in such a contest. In response, Master agreed to forego flying in return for being able to use one of her devices in the race. Mooncarver accepted, only to find Master with a brand new device on the day of the contest.
Huh. What kind of device was it?
Vroom vroom.
It was a mechanical vehicle made out of iron. What was it called again? Oh, an electro-powered bicycle?
Oh, you refer to the bicyclical Thunder Flashmobile. One spent
Cool.
49 days conceptualizing and crafting it. It need only be infused with adeptal energy, and it can cover thousands of miles in one day. Oh, it boggles the mind why Mooncarver ever supposed he might best me in a contest of locomotion. Though he sprinted with all his might, he could barely keep up. Alas, the one flaw of my mechanism lay in its weakness against mountainous terrain. One was thwarted mere seconds from victory, when it was thrown off course and failed to make it across the final stretch. Truly a most unfortunate turn of events. Anyway, do go on, Shenhe.
Master, that was the end of that story.
Is that so? Huh. With you gone, one has seldom felt the desire to call upon those old fossils for another contest. What is a race without spectators, after all?
Have you been lonely, Master?
Lonely? Huh. At one's age, entire human generations come and go in the blink of an eye. Even one's own self-directed musings can span several days and nights. 'Tis a most foreign sentiment. The mere mention of it is preposterous. What is the reason for that look upon your face?
It's nothing. It's just... Well, Paimon gained a lot of respect for you after listening to that story of you summoning the rain and everything. But all it took was a few words out of your mouth and it's like you're back to being that illuminated bird again. I was just a little bit confused. Which one of the two is the real Cloud Retainer?
To me, they are both, Master. One is the master that's widely revered by the people, while the other is the master that I respect and adore.
Oh.
One finds oneself exalted yet again with sweet words of praise and flattery of a most extravagant nature. You chose to exalt one with your words, yet you refuse to grace Mount Outsong with your presence for any extended period of time. One would almost question the sincerity of your estimations. This is not to say that your words paint an inaccurate picture. One has always lived by a single ideal. Eschew all action and abide by no rule. One does as one pleases and speaks as one pleases. Others may critique or praise as they see fit. Yet one places little weight in such judgments.
What have you been up to?
What, 2 sentences of flattery from her disciple? And it's as if her ego is about to burst.
Do you have any empty
Small
tables?
fuzzy. I don't know how to reply to that.
Hey there!
I'm
Did we get
fluffy,
another
not
fish
fuzzy.
stew?
Fluffy.
I'm hearing more guests come in. I should get back to work.
Alright, good luck with the lunchtime rush, Shenhe.
I'll try my best.
So much yummy food! Paimon's gonna feast!
I suppose you're right. How have you been?
One is fond of all kinds of delicacies and delights in a multitude of flavors. The dishes here demonstrate no shortage of culinary skill. Their unique flavor profile has left one more than satisfied. In fact, one has been struck by quite the fit of inspiration. One has already begun to conceptualize the next generation of supreme
You been okay?
cuisine machines.
I've been.
So tasty! I've been 200 times, but still super tasty.
I'm sorry, miss, but our tables are full.
Shall we try
I'm
some
feeling
ice cream?
exhausted, but also having fun.
But it smells so delightful. Can we really not eat here? My poor legs can't go on for much longer.
I feel a little bit more energetic today, though. It's a little
you
bit.
could always check with some of the other guests and see if anyone's happy to share a table.
Okay, I'll ask around.
I've been finaling my fantasy. Ish. A lot of that lately.
Excuse me. Would you mind letting us share a table with you?
Been having too much
There are no
fun
empty tables
on that
left,
game.
So... Ah, well, Paimon doesn't mind. What about you guys?
I've actually gotten quite a good amount of sleep. Me, 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 me. It's just I have a sulfur battery, and if I use it too much, I need to escape into the shadows and rejuvenate. Yeesh.
Great! Thanks so much. My name is Shuyu, and this is my granny, Yuendai. Granny? Yep. Is there something wrong with that? No. Paimon's just a bit surprised. She looks so young. Yeah. A lot of people compliment Granny on her youthful looks, but she's actually much older than she appears. Granny? Why don't you take a seat? Come on, it's not polite to stare.
Small flying abomination?
Before.
You mean Paimon?
No.
Tis a fated meeting, then. Please, take a seat.
What would you like to eat, Granny? I can order for you.
I want braised earthworms.
Earthworms!
They always pop up out of the ground after a
Huh?
rainstorm.
No, not this again. Granny, there's no braised earthworms on the menu. Braised earthworms? Well, that sounds weird. Do people actually eat that?
I don't know what Paimon is. That is the age-old question.
Right, that's what Paimon was thinking too. Need any help?
Probably, you know, she could be a flying fish.
Help? Oh, do you mean with Granny? Thanks, that's nice of you to offer. Granny has pretty bad dementia, so her memory's getting worse all the time. She's always saying things that sound kinda confusing. Actually,
Fishy, fishy,
her
fish.
memory's been bad ever since I was little. But it's gotten so bad lately that I even have to remind her who I am every morning. They died young. It's just me and Granny now. Oh, but it's okay. Don't feel bad. Granny loves me a lot, and I love her a lot too.
Haven't had fish in a hot minute.
At times, but you just gotta make the best of the life you've got.
I had tuna salad
You're really
last
tough for your
week.
age, kid.
That's...
You're too
I have a
kind.
lot of tuna.
And me?
One of my favorites.
You're tough too, Granny. Plus, you're really gentle, and you're always there for me.
Yes, and it's hardly as if I forget everything. I still remember the important things. Wait, what was that really important thing again?
Oop.
Ah, I remember now. It was a dream. I had a dream where everything was dark. Someone was standing in front of me. She told me to come and find her, and that once I'd found her, I would be free.
Huh? That sounds super important. But how come you've never told me about it before?
Ish.
It was just a dream, so I forgot about it.
Coconut
But
shrimp.
I'm in a good mood now,
I've only ever
and
had
somehow
fried
I
shrimp with like
remembered it
lime.
again.
Pretty
Ah,
tasty.
You know, I believe I've had this dream a great many times. But just how many times have I had it?
I've never
Now
had
that
crab,
I
except
do
for
not
crab
remember.
ragu.
Wait, so you have a reoccurring dream where someone's talking
It's
to
like
you? That
a
sounds
creamy,
spooky.
cheesy crab fried
Does that mean
thingy.
you're possessed?
It's pretty tasty.
Unlikely. Her eyes are clear and her breathing remains calm and level. One sees no signs of possession.
Are you sure?
I don't
Who do you
venture
take
too
me
much with
for?
seafood.
Is one not an adept?
At least not yet.
Am I not an expert?
You're right. Paimon almost forgot you're the expert. In that
The
case,
expert.
do you still remember what the person in your dreams looked like, Granny?
Not anymore. Although, I have a sense that she looked rather like me. But not as I am now. My younger self.
Last time you had crab, you lived in Cali.
A younger version of Granny?
Wow.
This is just getting weirder and weirder. What is going on here?
What was Cali like for you? Because I've only visited
As
there
one said,
once.
Fate must have brought us
I
together.
think that was a
You may leave this situation to me.
2 or so years ago. It was
What are your names?
okay, but most people wanted to move away from it. So like, the quality's gone down. It's overcrowded. Blah blah blah, you know.
Just Shenyun is fine.
Thank you all so much for offering to help. But first, I'm sorry for asking, but, how do you want us to pay you back? Oh, we don't need any payment for this. Thank you so much. You're welcome. But Miss Shenyun, what exactly can we do to help out this granny? All we have to go off is that dream. Where do we start?
That is elementary. Since her dreams portray her younger self, then we shall retrace the steps of her youth. Once we have revisited those places, her memories will likely return.
Sounds like a plan. So, Granny, do you remember which places you went to when you were young?
Why, of course I do. The heavens above, the earth below, the wispy clouds, and the emerald mountain streams.
Okay, taking that as a no.
You see.
I might have an idea. Once, when I was really little, my dad told me that Granny used to be a martial artist heroine who saved loads of people from a disaster. If it's true, then maybe they wrote about it in the history books or something.
When I went to LA,
A martial arts heroine?
Hollywood was horrendous.
Shinto knows tons about Liyue's chivalrous
It was overcrowded,
If anyone knows about the heroes of the past,
and I felt
it's him.
overwhelmed. I was like, "Get me out!"
Find him at the Feiyun Commerce
Whoa!
Guild.
Are you leaving already? But I'm still hungry.
I'll go order some food, Granny. If there's nothing on the menu you especially want, I'll just get a few different things.
It seems we must part ways for now. The Traveler and Paimon are bound for the Feiyun Commerce Guild, while Yuendai and Shuyu shall remain here and partake of their lunch. As for myself, I have matters to discuss with
Yeah.
Steward Rambler.
I have a family member that's lived there for almost most of their life, and they're like, "I'm moving." I'm like, "Oh, you're moving."
Precisely. Let us meet at
I see.
Eugene Terrace once you are ready.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I saw a lot over there, especially in LA. It's like, why do people even go there?
Huh. It's you two. What brings you here?
Shincho! Great, we found you! We wanted to ask you about something.
It's like an empty shell. A husk.
That's not a whole lot of information to go off of. I don't know if I can say for sure. I can't pinpoint her identity from your description alone. But considering her age, I am reminded of a nameless heroine who's been featured in various chivalric novels.
Nameless heroine?
That's right. The novels often speak of a great drought from 50 years ago. As the people suffered, a nameless heroine appeared and began to clear away evil spirits in bandit camps. The people idolized her, but never learned her name. All they knew was that she always acted alone. Later, though, she supposedly fell in love with a similarly noble-minded exorcist from Mount Tianheng. They were well matched in more ways than one.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of
fighting
cities
together as a
either.
fearsome duo of otherworldly strength.
I would
After
like
the
to
drought
be
ended, the heroine and the
close
exorcist
to one,
left the public eye
but not in the
and
center
began
of it.
living a reclusive life in
I
the
like
mountains.
the forests and
All that
mountains.
remained were tales of her incredible
If
accomplishments.
it's foresty and
The way
mountainy,
this
I want it.
nameless heroine faded from fame into obscurity later in life is not too dissimilar from Miss Yuendai. I hope that's somewhat helpful.
Thanks a lot, Shincho. We knew it'd be worth talking to you.
It's nothing at all. Just something I came across while reading. I did do a bit of extra research on her story, but it was just out of personal curiosity.
Well, Paimon still thinks that's super cool. Oh, wait, Shincho, if you've read up on her, do you know of any places often associated with her?
Let me think. In the novels, the nameless heroine always appeared near one of 3 places. Wangshu Inn, the area just north of Jueyun Karst, and Qingyun Peak. Perhaps the real-life heroine who inspired the character was also often seen near those 3 places. That would explain why those locations appear in the various novels written about her.
Timon! It belongs in the media channel. That's pretty. It's art. You know who is also a pretty art? You.
You're welcome. To be honest, I found some parts of the story confusing when I first came across it.
Boom.
If Miss Yuendai was indeed the original inspiration for the character, she may just be able to help me put the pieces together.
Did you put it in me?
To fade into obscurity during their lifetime, even after retiring from the public eye. But no one ever saw or heard from the nameless heroine again. There were even rumors that she became extremely ill. I've never understood why someone would go to such lengths to erase themselves from public memory. It's almost as if she was trying to hide from something. There's probably far more to the story than what's been written.
We'll be sure to tell you if we manage to uncover the truth.
That's a deal. Perhaps, behind the truth of it all, there lies a story.
What if Chad is just a whole conglomerate?
Paimon feels like we just learned so much from Shincho. A drought,
Into a
nameless
masterpiece.
heroine, a life of seclusion. Wait, why does this
You're at
story
work?
sound super familiar?
Well, don't let me distract you too much.
Right. There's a drought in this story too. Shincho, are droughts super common in Liyue or something?
Well, they used to be. But people have long since developed methods to prevent them, like by cultivating the soil or digging canals. So while droughts do happen from time to time, they are rarely regarded as true disasters. The drought 50 years ago is probably one of the worst we've had in the last several centuries. The crops withered, the streams ran dry, and the monsters in the mountains became
a lot of things are
and
nicer in the
agitated.
summer,
Countless
plant-wise
caravans were
and
attacked,
outdoors.
and people who lost their homes came together to form bandit groups. What started as a natural disaster soon became a human tragedy as well.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the nameless heroine was so beloved. She must have been someone of true integrity to do so much for the people while asking nothing in return. Still, as terrible as that drought was, it was nothing compared to the truly calamitous disasters that befell this land in ancient times. They say that back in those days, disasters were both more
Back in
severe
those
and more
days.
common. Only the strongest of Adepti could hope to dispel the ruin and devastation. Do you have any other questions?
We're good for now. We're just going to head back and meet up with Miss Xianyan and the others again. Paimon hopes that Granny Yuendai will be able to remember more of her past. She used to be a great hero who saved many people. So sad that she can't recall any of it. Anyway, we'll be off now. See you some other time, Xingqiu. Thank you so much for your help.
It's no problem at all. Safe travels.
Luckily for you, there's no fox dragon in your woods. Not yet. I'm in your shadows. I may be in the trees, and you wouldn't know. What are you doing here in these woods?
I hope it will be of help to you.
Oh, thank you. Straightward, Ping, what has amused you so?
Oh, it's no serious matter. I was just reminiscing about the last time I saw you in this form. Time has wrought such change in this world, and yet you appear just the same as ever.
Time has little bearing on one's existence, nor has one keenly felt its effects whilst dwelling at Mount Outsong. Nevertheless, Ping, one would like to seek your counsel on a personal matter.
Oh, why so formal?
I do like the woods.
I must say.
Better watch out,
making me a
Tin
little
Man.
nervous. What is it?
Well, the inquiry is as such. Approximately how much more would one need to afford a comfortable life in the
Your
heart?
beard may be stolen in your
Not
sleep.
unlike the one that you yourself lead.
It does not require as much as you may think. Still, do you mean that...
Flag retainer, Madam Ping! What are you two talking about?
Nothing save for some trivial matters. Have you unearthed any useful details?
Xingqiu has a theory, but let's save it for when Chuyu and Miss Yuendai have joined up with us again.
Do not be troubled, young lady. Here, have some tea.
I could go for some tea right now.
Thank you so much. What do you think, Chuyu? Does it match up with what you know of your granny?
According to the story, the nameless heroine eventually fell in love with an exorcist from Mount Tianheng. Maybe that's my grandpa.
An acre of
I don't
woods.
have many memories of him.
That's a lot of woods.
There was this one time I found a box in our attic full of a bunch of weird sigils. I think so too. Granny might remember something once she's returned to a familiar place.
What marvelous tea. I can taste the dew's sweetness in this cup. It's as if I was taking a stroll in the mountains, thoroughly one with nature and at peace.
Is that so? Then please drink as much as you like. There's no need to hurry. At our age, it's always nice to slow down and take the time to appreciate pleasant conversation among friends.
Thank you.
Okay,
since we have the time, can I ask you something? Sure thing. What would you like to know? I have a secret I want to tell you. Let's go talk over there. What's wrong, Shiryu? Well, I've been kind of meaning to ask ever since we started talking in the restaurant, but are you guys all adepti in disguise? Oh! How about that? Well, you guys just seem super special. Plus, I think I might have heard Miss Shen Yun call herself an adeptus. Must have been a slip of the tongue. Shen Yun, since you were the one who, misspoke, maybe you can explain to Shiryu here what you really meant by that.
One is indeed an adeptus. Is that of some concern to you?
Oh. Oh, she spilled the beans. Beans.
Well, one time when I was a little kid, I saw a pure white illuminated crane. I had this super high fever, and Granny wasn't around. I was feeling all icky and gross. But then this snowy white crane flew down from the sky. She put me on her back and flew me to her cool Adeptus house and fed me some sort of magic potion. When I woke up, I was already back in my bed and my fever was gone. I really wanted to thank her, but I was too sleepy to stay awake, so I never got the chance. So, I just kind of wanted to ask if maybe any of you have ever met an Adeptus like that? A pure white illuminated crane? The only two we've ever met are blue and white and black and brown. Have you ever met one that's pure white, Cloudretina?
Never has one met an adeptus with such features. One surmises such a description is but a hyperbolic embellishment that oft results from narrative accounts.
That's weird. Was it really just a dream?
You want to build something in the woods? You don't know what yet.
Even if it was just in my head, it doesn't matter that much anyway. All I really want is to help Granny recover her memories.
What haven't you built?
Leave it to us! Now that we know the 3 locations, we just need to visit them one by one. Let's go to Wangshu Inn first. Okay, I'll go get Granny.
You can make many things. I mean, if you do have tornadoes or floods in your area, wouldn't be bad to make a shelter for that.
Do you remember this place, Granny?
Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And if you look out
Or box where fox dragon sits.
you can always
If it fits,
spot
I
a
sit.
bird that's been left behind by its flock. I believe I used to have a room here. It had a window. Yes, I spent a lot of time looking out that window. Which room was
But the
it
box is
again?
comfy. Maybe.
Let me look.
I'll come with. Hyman's still having some trouble understanding what she's talking about, but if she's so familiar with this place, that must mean she lived here, right? Wait, huh?
Some fuzzy blankets in it? Perfect.
I sensed a non-human presence and decided to come take a look. If you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose there's no cause for concern. It's been a while, Cloud Retainer. I see you have returned to your previous form. I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions during the Archon War.
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war?
The war.
Oh, wait, let Paimon take a guess. Was it anything like this?
There we go, Paimon.
Behold, the glory of one's newest invention, the Bang Bang Continuous Fire Mechanism. Hands up and surrender, or be prepared to face the full might of the Adepti.
An impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. You may be unaware, but her talent with Adepti sigils is just as formidable as her skill in mechanics. The Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn, only speaking when she had to activate her sigils.
A cloud retainer who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it. But what happened after that? If you were so powerful in your human form, why did you decide to take up your bird form again?
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one still have for such a shape? When dwelling between mountain and forest, away from the struggles and troubles of the mortal
You
world,
leave the bed and then your kidneys try to paw it? Like making bread? Like,
After the war,
you know that one thing that they
Cloud
do?
Retainer
Like
retired
kneading
to
bread
outside,
with their paws.
only revealing herself
Yeah.
to the occasional visitor.
Yep.
And always in her avian form. Although I do believe
Cute.
there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago.
I am sadly very
when she
allergic,
decided to don her human
but they are adorable. I love
believe it was
cats.
for the purpose of
They're so cute.
One believes there is little need to relive
I want to hold
bygone
them
matters.
and squish them
Are you okay?
and pet them.
Back then, at this place,
Perhaps this conversation should end here. I shall take my leave now. Should you encounter any trouble, you need only call my name. However, given that you are traveling with Cloud Retainer, I trust you are in good hands.
Yo, come back.
Everyone! I think Granny is finally beginning to remember her past.
Slowly now, calm your mind and recount what has been recalled.
a long time ago, I stayed here to recuperate from my illness.
Huh. So what Shinto said was true! You did fall ill! Was that why you went into hiding?
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't even remember the name of my illness. The only thing I can remember is that it took a great toll on me, and there was no cure for it. I was confined to my room in Wangshu Inn, where I spent many days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while and stare at the migrating birds outside the window. It was a solemn sight. I remember crying, but I'm not even sure I knew why. One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of soul-revitalizing tea pills. He told me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms. Sure enough, I made a full recovery. My illness remained dormant for several decades after that.
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying that what you're going through now is just a relapse of what happened all those years ago? And it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check? Paimon's brain kinda hurts. Do you remember anything else?
I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, if only I wasn't so useless.
Hey!
That fish talks a
you're
lot.
not useless.
Yeah,
You've done so much for me. Watched
she
me
talks a
grow up,
lot.
raised me. How could you
A
say
bit too
that
much
about
sometimes.
yourself?
Sometimes I want to grab her and shake her.
Fret not, dear child.
Give her a good shake 'em.
Granny was just a bit frustrated. That's all.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding pieces of one's past is always superior to not finding anything at all. Let us make haste to the next location.
Next location. Next location. Oh, why don't we go to the area north of Dwayunkars next? There isn't really a landmark there, so where should we start? Oh, Paimon's got it. Let's check out the houses in the area first.
Imagine we grabbed Paimon and used her like a weapon.
Time when she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon's really got her thinking cap on today.
There is a weapon that is a fish that you can slap enemies with a fish. It's quite silly. I am quite silly. I'm the silliest of sillies. Better be careful. You may be infected by it. It's silly. It grows strong. It is quite infectious. Hehehe.
I don't remember this place at all. I don't think I've ever been here before. Still, I was thinking. This place feels perfect for a game of hide and seek.
What?
Huh? Why a game of hide and seek?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I used to play that game a lot with Shuyu when she was younger.
I don't remember playing it that much. Are you sure about that, Granny? We only played a few times, and we stopped once we realized I was no good at the whole seeking part.
Ah, is that so? Then I must be mistaken.
Maybe you were playing hide and seek with an adeptus.
Let's try somewhere else.
I'll go this way.
My apologies. This heavy rain must be quite an inconvenience for you.
Next on the agenda.
Paimon sees an abandoned house. Why don't we take a break over there?
This place. It's...
Did you remember something, Granny?
I remember. Shuyu. This is where your father was born.
Oh.
It was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit. I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in this house. Your grandpa set up a barrier outside, but neither of us knew if it could hold the monsters back. I remember that night. I remember falling to my knees, reciting a prayer over and over. I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you wish for forsaking my oath, but spare my innocent child.
Sin?
Oh.
Did you do something wrong?
I
Ew.
don't know. I I don't remember. I only remember praying in the darkness with all my strength until the sun finally rose again and the fog cleared out. Eventually, the house was filled with the sound of my baby's first cries. That baby was your father. I remember I clutched him tight to my chest.
If you wear Croc
and
with
wept
socks.
tears of joy.
If you're wearing
It was
Crocs
the
in the first
time I'd
place.
ever felt such happiness in my life.
Would I call that a sin?
He was my pride and joy, and so are you, Shuyu. You're so much like him, and I love you both so much. But you're always going to be different from me. Why? Just what did I do?
I don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be the person I love more than anything.
You're too sweet, Shuyu. I'm lucky to have you with me. If not for you, I would not have had the courage to come here, to try to remember what I had forgotten. All right, let's not stand around any longer. There's one place left, yes? Let's go take a look.
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Qingyun Peak. Yuandai, how fares your health?
I may be a bit slow, but I'll do my best to keep up. I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Climb on, I shall carry you to the top.
Oh?
Oh, such lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid mind, to free myself of this torment and the burden it places upon others.
Fret not, you have my aid in this endeavor.
We're finally here. Does this place feel familiar to you, Granny One Day?
Let me see.
Ish. Indeed.
How strange. Have I lived here before?
Sometimes the house is sentient and opens itself. Sometimes you just gotta give it a good wham.
When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiarity. I could easily picture myself in those places. But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just didn't leave a strong impression on me.
But did the stories get it wrong then? Yeah, that's true. But they're also the only thing we have to go off of. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny Yuendai's memory just like the others.
I'm sorry to disappoint you too.
It's alright. We're not going to give up yet. We'll figure something else out. Just you wait.
Thank you. If only I could remember. Huh? That way. What's that mountain?
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsong? Looks like we've come full circle.
Mount Outsong. Mount Outsong.
Granny, are you okay? Don't push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you can't remember. You shouldn't do something that makes you sad.
Mount Outsong, What am I really?
Mount Outsong holds some familiarity to you?
It does, but I can't go back.
Are you feeling unwell?
My head, it feels all heavy and dizzy. What is wrong with me?
Cloud, Miss Yenyun, is there anything you can do?
Let us go to Mount Outsong.
But...
Fret not, all will be well. You and you have already given more than enough to the pursuit of this endeavor. You may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear in your heart and restoring your lost memories. It currently resides at Mount Outsong.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I never leave anything to chance. All will reveal itself when we arrive.
How convenient.
Here, this is it.
Huh? But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering with when we first got here? Oh, is it another invention of yours?
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. I call it the Suspensus Somnium mechanism. It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, can help the listener subconsciously relax and even enter a semi-hypnotic state.
Oh my.
Soothing agitation and anxiety, relieving exhaustion and insomnia, its potential uses are numerous indeed. And of course, it can also aid in the recovery of lost memories.
Whoa, what a cool gadget! But if you had it all along, why did you keep it to yourself until just now? We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved time on a lot of floating.
How preposterous. Had Yuendai not recalled much of her past through her own efforts, the device would have nothing to draw
A
on.
plot device.
We Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves. Had she lacked such determination and strength of character, one would have little to offer in way of assistance.
Paimon thinks she gets it now. Hey, what's that other thing?
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from Streetward Rambler. Only with her melodies can the mechanism reach its peak power.
Whoa, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels light as a feather. It's as if she's lying down on a warm patch of grass after a super satisfying meal.
And you, Yuendai, is the mechanism helping you to relax? It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie. Come, join one on this side. We shall give her some time to herself.
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth.
You relax.
Is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the me from not that long ago. We should have never. So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you okay?
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned.
Wait, did you just call her by her full name? Does that mean you already knew each other?
Yes. I now remember everything. Everything.
Granny, please don't cry. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. Granny is fine. I'm so sorry, everyone. You've gone to so much trouble on my behalf. It's all come back to me now. The most important thing that I had forgotten was the truth of what I once was.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure to come with a myriad of complex emotions. Perhaps one should recount the story on your behalf while you compose yourself.
No, it's okay. Now that I've remembered, I must face my memories head on.
Did you steal one of Cloud Retainer's tarts?
Everyone, I cannot thank you enough for all your help. I'm ready to tell you my story, if you're willing to listen.
Please, Granny, don't force yourself. What happened in the past doesn't matter. I love you more than anything.
I agree, Tin Man.
Change that.
But this...
I know, dear child. My feelings for you are exactly the same. It is for this reason that you deserve to know the truth. Some time ago, I made a terrible mistake.
You would think they enjoy hearing themselves talk.
I could never atone.
Is this the sin that you mentioned in Joyun Karst? What happened?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane.
Oh, you fell in love with a human, didn't you?
Years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. At some point, I somehow gained wisdom and sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. She even passed on the secret of cultivation to me. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tools to work on mechanisms or new inventions, I would also stand next to her and watch. I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right. I followed her teachings, and time gradually passed us by. Until that fateful day 50 years ago.
Thank you for the follow, Scott. Welcome to the stream. Thank you.
50 years ago?
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. From them, I learned how she had saved people from a similar crisis in the past. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than anything, I dreamt of becoming an adeptus like her. I wanted to travel the land like she had, relieving suffering wherever I went. But I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. Once she learned of my desires, Master prepared a special dose of human mimicry potion for me. She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as a crane and become something neither human, beast, nor adeptus.
Oh no. So that was the source of your dementia all along.
Was it because of Grandpa?
Indeed, I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the world below, but his as well. Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and wanted, more than anything, to cleanse it of all pain and suffering. I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years passed by in a flash. Yet I did not want to leave his side, so
The sin.
Oh no. What happened next?
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering, even if it meant that I would eventually turn into a monstrosity. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter instead and asked someone to leave it outside her abode. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. In my shame, I fled and tried to hide from the world, such that no one would be able to find me again. But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strange illness. My memories became hazy and confused, and I could no longer keep myself awake. I understood that my pain was caused by my refusal to return to the life I was fated to lead. Along with my memories as a crane, I soon forgot the true cause of my suffering as well. I knew only that I had committed a sin. All I could do was pray for forgiveness, even if I had long forgotten what needed to be forgiven. Looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate coincidence that we were there at the same time. If it weren't for those soul-revitalizing tea pills, I probably would have...
Granny, what's wrong?
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence? Tea pills concocted using the blood of an adeptus? No, it couldn't be. Master, don't tell me. Back then,
He's getting windy.
that merchant was actually...
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not? Consider the pills a symbol of one's best wishes.
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only person I managed to deceive was myself. You knew where I was all along.
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among a group of wild cranes and ask one to pick you out from among the flock. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident. One always recognizes one's own, no matter what form they may take.
Wait. Paimon's confused. So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again? But how? When? And what happened after that?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale.
Hello? Oh, okay. Or in the memory.
One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses.
This place is pretty.
In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. One could hardly say his skill with sigils was any better. But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. He never uttered a complaint and rarely left your side. Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook his aforementioned deficiencies. Glaring though they may have been.
He sounds like such a
wishing
mom.
to grant you a life without regrets, one gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to create a form of medicine. Though imperfect, it managed to suppress the more dire effects of your illness. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one eventually decided to perform the deed oneself. One took great care to alter
The
one's
mustache.
features and select the appropriate attire. Only after meticulous scrutiny did one finally set out for Wangshu Inn. As one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. You showed not even the slightest inkling of recognition.
You're a divine ingredient?
One was
Ayo.
torn. Should one have celebrated the success of one's disguise, or mourn the loss of
You plan to get cooked, Tin Man? Oh. Well, that's a quite the landing.
One would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable, even considering your loss of memory. One was simply flabbergasted that you could so easily forget the consequences of consuming medicine infused with adeptal blood. Its proclivity to attract monsters is hardly that complicated of a concept to remember. To think that you tried to travel while weak from sickness and heavy with child. Had one not intervened to clear the fog, all of you would have been lost during the night.
Oh. He's been protecting them this whole time. I love how flowy she is.
Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity without sufficient incentive. They were likely incited by the presence of godly remains. Said godly remains, in
return, were likely drawn to the trace of one scent on your body. One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making. In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air, and one saw you carefully cradle the child to your chest. Although certain mortal matters remain foreign to me, one could not help but be moved by your joy. To see you happy, that was more than enough.
Mm.
Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait, but if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale.
I can't go that way. Alright. Fine. I go this way then.
Just as you and I troubled one with
Hello.
heretics, so did you give
Welcome,
one
welcome.
many a headache. Upon finding you burning with
Did you
fever,
just wake up?
one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing one's form, you began to cry, refusing to get on one's back. When one asked you why,
You haven't been to
apparently
sleep?
You believed that one could not possibly be a true adeptus, because all illuminated cranes are white from tip to toe.
Maybe my
One
stream
had
can
no
put
choice
you
but
to sleep.
apply powder to one's body
Mm.
to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance.
What has kept you up?
Became more than amenable enough when one stood before you devoid of any other coloring. It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, you and
The
I was
voices.
nearly entirely
Oh,
pure
yes.
white in color.
What have they been yapping about this time?
You still recognize the essence of her being. Perhaps fate brought you two together in more ways than one. Now
The rats in the
all
rubber
has
room.
been revealed.
The room rubber
One
with
owes
rats.
you an apology, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
One recognized you upon your very entrance into Wanmin Restaurant. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal
Crazy?
standing with Ganyu and Shenhe.
They bring me in tonight, so I come to vibe?
One wished to bring
Hell
your
yeah.
story to a satisfactory
We got nice
end
voices
with
over
this
here.
visit to Liyue
Let's go.
Harbor. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away.
The voices say
Had one simply informed you of all you had lost,
that you're all
those
cute.
cherished memories would merely
Ish.
have become the fictionalized account of another. Memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not agree? Even if the process was painful and arduous to experience.
They locked me in a room.
Have you any further inquiries?
Master,
A room rubber.
I
A
must
rat
ask,
room.
If
Crazy.
you found me all those years ago,
I was a rat
why
once.
did you leave me be, even though you knew about my
A rat room
mistake?
with rubber
Why
rats.
did you not bring me back to Mount
Crazy?
Outsong by force?
I was rat
One
once.
has never regarded your action as a
A
mistake.
room rat with rubber
It was a simple
room.
choice. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark, just know that you always have a place to which to return. It is a refuge
A
referred to
snort,
by
you little-
many a name in mortal writing.
That's even
Home,
better.
Nest, haven. Whatever its denomination may be, its essence remains quite unchanged. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they
That was
wish.
meow. Meow
The
meow.
door remains
Meow
forever
once.
open to those who
Then
wish
me
to
meow meow
return.
meow. And meow meow meow.
One rather hopes you count yourself among them.
Rubber room with fox dragons?
I just
You better say your prayers.
thank you so much.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration of your condition as of late. Have you not? 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few
You
decades
enjoy
of
Trevi?
time,
Don't I know what you are?
merely delayed the inevitable. One may have extended the path, yet one
Tell
was
me.
unable to alter its
What
final
am I?
destination.
Hmm.
Even the power of an Adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have taken your life as a human entirely. In the end, you would have turned into a creature.
No, Birb, you must understand, I am the fox dragon. You're gonna be in the room with me. I'm the monster in this scenario.
You were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the process along by providing some guidance, the result is entirely a reflection of your own effort.
So, what's gonna happen to Granny?
Yeah, Twitch is trying to silence you.
One will help her
I cannot
reclaim
allow
her
it.
original form as a wild crane. If it be fated, she may recover her sentience one day.
She's gotta go
You
back
shall
to
not be
being a regular
silenced.
crane, huh?
You're too funny to be silenced.
Master, you've already done more than enough for me. I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This is a
Yeah,
better
you're very
result than I
funny.
could have ever hoped for.
If you could make me laugh,
much time
you're
do I have left?
automatically funny.
Not long. The transformation is imminent.
Granny,
If you make me smile,
please don't
also
leave,
funny.
okay? You're all I have left. Please!
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a wonderful life. My only regret is having to leave
Sadly, you can't see me smile on this model. But maybe one day.
Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food to grow big and strong. Promise Granny you'll take good care of yourself when I'm gone.
I promise, Granny. I'll do whatever you say.
Good girl. Good girl. Don't worry. It's not goodbye forever. Granny's gonna become the most formidable crane in all of Mount Outsung. Granny will train day and night.
Poor Granny.
I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own power. When that day comes, we'll be able to live together again. You and I. How's that sound?
Good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little while, as long as we both work hard, we're sure to meet again someday.
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. I'll wait for
Going
you
back to the monster fucking thing, who said I wasn't the one too? I'm
And Granny
crying!
really has no more regrets. I'm
Do
so
not the
sorry,
chai.
Master.
Do not.
Thank you
Do not.
for everything.
Do not bear. Then you do this all the time.
Shiryu.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting response to such an event. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress and misery. Now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to rest. Take a nap if you must. One will wake you in due time.
Old people can cry. Humph. I agree, Bear. Oh, cutscene. Sneezy. It's all the bird feathers. Thank you. Clipping my sneeze again, are you? Or did you ever clip my sneeze? I don't know. I don't know. A couple of things of my noises have been clipped before. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, why are they gonna tease us like that?
I always believed we would see each other again. That our days of separation would finally end. And all my troubles would be behind me.
They're so cute. Ah. Sometimes I regret not picking the boy.
If only things could stay this way. Forever.
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up. Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
I'm probably just as old as you. If not older. I'm an ancient dragon after all.
Chicken drumsticks.
Oh, hi, bud, please. You had your finger in your mouth!
Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now? Oh, Paimon.
Who are you calling a babu?
Paimon had a dream about eating grilled chicken drumsticks. That's all.
You're a babu. You're a little baby.
Adeptus? Oh, Shuyu, you're awake. How do you feel?
Schmoll. Tiny.
I feel a little better. Thanks. I know I'll see Granny again someday, so I don't
Short.
feel so sad anymore.
Even.
Madam Adeptus, could I ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Oh.
Aww.
Reasons for this
Have a
sudden
good night,
interest?
Bear. Have a good
Granny
sleep
thought what
well.
she did
Sweet
that day was
dreams.
wrong. She felt really bad about it. But without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me
Thank
how
you.
much she loved me. So, I thought maybe one day I could become a cool adeptus like you and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire, one shall make it so.
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus. No, I mean, Master.
Chuyu, are you sure about this? Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like chin-chin and violet grass. If you join them, you'll never enjoy Wanmin Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
Paimon.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such a rule. Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access to certain finer mortal comforts. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shu Yu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Whoa, you're leaving Mount Outsong?
One has never concerned oneself
Oh?
with the location of one's residence. From the very beginning, one has sought only solace and peace. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuendai, they all chose a life among the mortal world. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing on one's part as an elder or master. A failing, perhaps, of recognizing what it was they truly wanted. One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. One could hardly offer an opinion on the matter, but perhaps some time in the harbor will prove instructive. Why are you all so silent?
Paimon is, just a bit shocked, that's all. So, does this mean we can grab a meal together in Liyue Harbor sometime?
One has precious little time to squander. However, if one finds oneself otherwise unoccupied, one would not be opposed to the idea.
I'm doing her story quest. Yup.
One will be assuming the identity of a human while residing in Liyue Harbor. You should take care to avoid disclosing one's true
Have
identity.
you been?
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret.
Yeah, this is a hungry fish.
So, when can we expect
The
to start
hungriest of
seeing you in the
fishes.
city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. Preparation is the key to success.
I'm doing good.
One plans to put up
Little
various
better.
items from one's collection for sale. The earnings should provide for a comfortable living in Liyue.
I've been having fun playing
One has
Final
already
Fantasy
picked out
lately.
a handsome property near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small
I've also been a
purchase,
little
but
exhausted.
What is mortal life if not one expense after another?
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up in Liyue Harbor in 2 days?
Yeah, I realized I was using too much of my social battery. Therefore,
Oh, also,
exhausting myself
suspense insomnia
past my
mechanism as a
limit.
souvenir. Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting your mind and sitting in meditation as you listen to its melodies. It might help you find a new perspective.
Awesome! Thanks, Cloud Retainer! Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out?
Grub.
Should we make a trip to the Feiyun Commerce Guild? It's totally up to you. So, about your move to Liyue Harbor, you gonna tell the other Adepti about it?
I have left an explanatory note in my abode. Those two old fossils will discover it, I am sure, should they come seeking my company. Considering their recent penchant for going off on private escapades, however, I find myself caring little for how they shall receive this news.
2 days later. Got some good old chalky milk. Nom, nom, nom. apparently she gets violent when the battery's low. You threaten to take your beard. Yes. Your beard will serve a good purpose as a nest. Add it to the pile.
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary valuables. Such intense scrutiny is hardly necessary.
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my primary cause for concern. In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I simply can't risk shelling out that kind of mora without proper scrutiny. If I'm wrong, I would never be able to earn it back, even if I worked
Your
every
kneecaps.
single day for
I
the
wasn't
rest of
planning
my
on
life.
taking Batty's
I
kneecaps.
have to be careful. Yes, you can never be too
At least,
careful.
not yet. I don't have a reason to.
Miss Shen, what are you guys arguing about?
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus is questioning the authenticity of my wares. I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years. To question their legitimacy is pure folly.
Several hundred?
Ma'am, that means the value of your items has gone up.
They're family heirlooms, you see, passed down over many generations, as families are wont to do.
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of mora, I would scarcely have had the heart to part with them. Indeed, you should consider it an honor to even have the opportunity to behold them with your own eyes. Doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take them to another buyer.
Whoa, please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack the knowledge to judge the true worth of these items. If you could wait but a moment, I've hired an expert to appraise them for me. He should be here shortly.
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future, this is where you can find me.
Zongli better be.
Oh, it's you
I hope
two
so
again.
too.
Hello. Shiryu! You got a new outfit! It looks great on you.
Mm-hmm. Master made it for me. I like it too.
Huh? You know how to make clothes?
What doesn't she make?
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so I just left them outside.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Actually, I should probably sort through my stuff a bit first. Everything's kind of messy right now, so maybe you could, not look yet, Master? Yeah, that'd be great.
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned. When can we expect
Man, this is
their
Wendy's.
Soon. Ah, there he is! Here, allow me to make some introductions.
Zhongli!
This is Mr. Zhongli, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang
Of course it's him.
and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques. Mr.
The man
Zhongli,
is an antique
this
himself.
Is Miss Shen Yun. She's the one who's looking to sell the collection of valuables I mentioned earlier.
Huh. If it isn't Miss Shenyun. It has been quite some time since our last meeting. What a serendipitous reunion.
Indeed, most serendipitous. Have you been faring well as of late, Mr. Zhongli?
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left me with such insight and peace.
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If you are otherwise unaware, allow me to inform you that Miss Shenyun is a well-regarded collector and appraiser. She is well-versed in all fields, and oft-celebrated for her impeccable taste. You stand to gain much from this opportunity.
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
Why, you flatter me, Miss Shenyun. It would seem that you are as self-effacing as ever.
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli. Not at all.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, I must ask, you two already knew each other, and you seem to have quite a cordial relationship. Can I be certain that you're not working together to swindle me? I mean, you never know.
Huh! A preposterous accusation. The heavens themselves would collapse before we would conspire to do such a thing.
Miss Shenyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and trust. If that proves to be beyond your capabilities in this instance, this transaction may be taken elsewhere.
Say no more. Let us depart.
Oh.
I jest! What fool would still harbor doubts after Mr. Zhongli himself has vouched for the goods? Miss Shenyun, wait! I deeply apologize for doubting you. So, Mr. Zhongli, could you please give me a final verdict on the value of these items?
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism, for instance. Though one may not immediately perceive its purpose, its structure and appearance are exquisite enough to merit it a place in any fine home. The same can be said for this one here. Few could hope to possess an item that so perfectly blends mechanical wonder with geometric grace. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanisms is among the most wondrous arts in this world. With that in mind, I earnestly recommend procuring every last item in this collection.
Oh.
All right. Since I hired you as my consultant, Mr. Zhongli, I shall, of course, trust your good opinion. Then, in that case, Miss Shenyun, I'll take the lot. However, since the final sum is quite large, how about we start with an initial deposit through the Northland Bank?
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house. Oh, very well.
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays. In that case, I'll be off for now. I'll return to collect the goods once you've received the funds.
He uses a lot more fancy words than I do.
My friends, have you been doing well?
Better now.
We've been great! How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such a busy consultant!
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested my services. As for you, Miss Shenyun, I presume you must be looking to settle in the city?
I must say, the name Shenyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense of that particular epithet in further conversation.
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
Well, that is true, but... Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with it. One is hardly ignorant of that fact.
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
One has indeed. One's previous days were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years, the scene we witness here may change in ways that are impossible for either of us to imagine.
My graphics make this look like Legos.
Reflection for one day? No need to get all sentimental on us.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the host as we try some specialty dishes together? One must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves of faster reflexes on that occasion.
Hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand.
Oh,
it is settled then.
a competition?
Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot. One has already passed word to Shenhe and Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple. Is that agreeable to everyone?
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhang Li. He is,
A humble employee of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhengli.
That should be everyone, right? Let's go!
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after even just one bite. You know, 'cause it's super tempting and stuff. Is that true?
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation, certain dishes can be too delicious to resist.
Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon! Hey, wait up!
I'm about to drag you. Slowpoke. No, that's the end of that. I'm gonna quickly do this. It shouldn't be too long. I hope. What did you choose for your Paimon Kite and Lantern Rite? What was it? I think it was a smug one. Yeah. I think that was my last Genshin stream. Yeah. I'm about to fly down. Fuck the scares. We fly. What happened to the chef?
You're right, it is strange. Do you think something happened to Yanxiao? Cause that guy barely lets anyone ever set foot in his kitchen. Doesn't exactly seem like the type to hire.
You made a new account? What do you mean?
Interested
Oh.
party should go upstairs and talk to the innkeeper Huayan. Should we go and see what's up?
I know some people make alts. You have a free-to-play account. Mine is kinda close. I only buy the Welkin. That was like tiny whale.
Well, that, and to check up on Yanxiao, of course.
It's a good challenge to have. Being free to play.
Boss, there's really no need for this. It's just a little burn, that's all. It won't get in the way of my work.
Perhaps not, but continuing to work will only hinder your recovery. You need to rest for a few days. We'll figure something out.
Huayan! Yanxiao!
Oh? Traveler and Paimon! What brings you to this neck of the woods?
And we decided to come check up on Yanxiao.
I knew we shouldn't have posted that notice. It's really nothing to worry about. I'm fine. I swear.
How kind of you. My thanks to you both. And thanks on Yanxiao's behalf too. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, Yanxiao. Just tell them what happened.
Oh, all right. Well, basically, we had a lot of guests pouring in for the lantern rite. Things got busy, I started rushing, and I ended up accidentally burning my hand while plating a dish.
Ooh.
Well, you know what they say. Play with fire long enough and you're bound to get burned. Even the best chefs slip up sometimes. Anyway, it's nothing, just a tiny burn. I can still...
Now. I don't want you pushing yourself. You'll only make it worse. And then you'll be looking at more than just a couple of days off to recover.
But the lantern rite's only just finished. And we're still getting tons of guests. Now's not a good time for me to rest. Plus, lots of the guests are visiting from other nations. We can't just bring in some random chef off the street. We have a reputation to uphold. I refuse to let someone else ruin the good name we've made for ourselves here.
Hello, I'm right here.
Listen to you. Anyone would think that you're the boss and not me. But he's not wrong. Yanxiao was one of the favorites in the Masterful Chefs tournament. No matter how you look at it, his are big boots to fill.
I don't mean to boast, but any chef of my caliber probably has their own restaurant to look after. It's not going to be easy to find someone who's got the skills and has the time to help us out.
Looks like we might have to increase the pay we're offering even further.
Do we know anyone that's a good chef and has the time to help out?
Whoever could it be?
Oh, of course, you!
Oh, right. Yes. Now I think about it, I do recall hearing good things about your cooking ability. I suppose I'd added you to my mental list of people who can hold their own in a combat situation, but forgot you can cook.
Why are you even keeping a mental list of people who can fight?
Maybe a story for another time. More importantly, I'm sure Yanxiao would be comfortable leaving his kitchen in your hands, if anyone's. What do you think, Yanxiao?
Well, since it's you, I suppose that's better than anyone else.
What do you think, Traveler? Should we do it?
I did say that, didn't I? Well, I'm a man of my word. You'll be compensated generously for your work.
I should warn you,
that cooking for customers is quite a different ballgame from cooking for yourself. So I'll stick around the kitchen over the next few days to help smooth things over.
Oh, so he's not leaving the kitchen after all?
I believe there's some spare kitchenware here at the inn. Boss, would you mind?
Of course, of course. I'll take care of it. Whew. All done. Come, take a look. This was made with your measurements in mind. Ah, it's nothing. A little handicraft and elbow grease goes a long way.
You did not do that this
All right,
fast.
Xiao. I'll leave you to take it from here.
Unless you got Zhao.
You really went to all the trouble of building a new stovetop? What was wrong with the original? Boy, you really hate when people touch your stuff, huh?
No, it's nothing like that. As Boss always says, hire who you trust and trust who you hire. I just thought the original setup might be a little, tall for you. Anyway, as I was saying, cooking for guests is different from cooking for yourself. Not only do you have to execute on taste, aroma, and appearance, but you also need to ensure speed, precision, and consistency. Having the right equipment is a big part of that. Ill-suited equipment doesn't just make the job more tiring, it also slows you down. And paying customers don't have unlimited patience. Sometimes cooking is all about being well prepared. That's how you ensure speed.
Okay, and what about precision and consistency?
Precision all comes down to using your eyes. Where to slice into a particular cut of meat, how much oil to use, how to tell when a dish is done cooking. When you cook for yourself, you can always add salt if it's too bland or add water if it's too salty. You can tweak the taste as you go, but in a restaurant, there's not that much room for trial and error.
Sounds less exhausting just listening to that. I don't know. Kind of intriguing for me.
Worst case scenario, Paimon can deal with any subpar dishes by making sure they get properly disposed of.
The final
Of course.
thing you have to focus on is consistency.
That is
You
something
have
I'm
to be
good
able
at.
to handle the most challenging orders with the same level
Depends
of
on what it
technique
is,
and
though.
skill as the easiest ones. This is particularly important when you have guests from all over, each with their own tastes and preferences. You have to cater to their own dietary needs while also giving them the opportunity to enjoy our local delicacies.
This last point is making Paimon's head spin.
Don't worry. Matter of fact, someone as well-traveled as you may even have a better handle on it than me once you get started. And of course, I'll be around to help you over the next few days. I don't think we'll have any trouble making all our guests feel right at home. There's no time to lose, so let's get started. I imagine you probably have a good handle on the cooking side of things already. What you need to pay attention to is remembering each table's order.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Try not to get them mixed up.
Oh, Paimon's memory is like a steel trap. This is gonna be a cinch. Which ticket are we on again?
Paimon!
Table 1 was onions, but no chilies. Table 2 was chilies, but no onions. And table 3 was, table 3 was... Hold the chilies.
Me on a Saturday.
Was Paimon just sleep floating? We didn't even get a break in the middle. Paimon's brain has turned to mush. Is it always this busy here?
No, but this is peak season. You both did a mighty fine job for your first time serving guests at the inn. Luckily, all our customers were familiar faces this time around, so we didn't get any strange requests. Otherwise, today would have been even more challenging.
No strange request? Someone asked for almond tofu drizzled in soy sauce. Even
What?
Paimon has never tried that combination.
It's a wide world out there. People have all kinds of different tastes. Being able to cater to all is the real essence of Liyue cuisine. Also, the thing about requests is that they're usually very specific. So as long as you do what they asked, you're unlikely to have any issues. What's really tricky is when guests give you free reign to do anything you want.
Yeah, some people ask me for surprise tea.
Still open by any chance? Huh? Paimon knows that voice. Let's go check it out.
I'm like, alright.
What should we do?
Wait, what are they doing here?
It doesn't look like anyone's here. If only we'd gotten here a bit sooner.
It's not too bad when it comes to tea.
Building a campfire now, we'll be eating before
I
too
just
long.
pick out like a really good tea I like and like hope they like it. Or if they give me the ability to ask them questions, I'll tell them, alright, what's your favorite smells? What's your favorite? Do you like fruits? Do you like, you know, spice? What kind of tea? You know? Ask them what flavors they like.
Is the traveler here?
But sometimes they like surprise me. Completely surprise me. I'm like, okay.
Traveler, Paimon! What a nice surprise!
Paimon was gonna say the same thing. We're just lending a helping hand at the inn.
It's not that much of a challenge when it comes to tea.
Anyway, so that's how we ended up here. What about you guys? Don't tell us. Father sent you on another mission?
No, quite the opposite, actually. We're in Liyue on vacation, and while we're here, I thought a cultural tour might be in order.
You panic.
Father said we
Huh.
deserve some
I
rest
don't.
after everything that happened recently. Otherwise, it could jeopardize our next mission.
It's not every day we get this kind of opportunity. Lenny thought it might be fun to spend some time in Liyue, especially since it's lantern rite season.
But if it was anything other than tea, then I would be freaking out. I'm like, what? What do you mean? So, like, I haven't had an experience like that, I don't think.
We could hardly pass up the opportunity to watch a Liyue-style magic show. Although, I think they call it conjuring here.
In our time here, we've seen conjuring tricks incorporated into a Liyue opera show, and even a wushu dance. It was amazing.
So, we decided to stay here for a few more days to see what other forms of inspiration this land might have in store for us. We visited Granny Roshin in Qingsa village not long ago, and today we continued our cultural tour in the area around here.
In the end, though, we lost track of time. We haven't even
Special tea.
And speaking of eating,
I got
as you
quite
know,
the
seafood is a
variety
big part of both Liyue
of
and Fontaine
teas.
cuisine, but it's cooked very differently here. We simply had to try some local seafood after coming all this way. That's another reason why we decided to extend our trip.
Oh, need any recommendations? What have you tried so far?
That fish one with the misleading name. Sounds bland, but it's drowning in hot chilies.
Oh, you mean blackback perch soup? You're right. The name doesn't give much away.
Everyone on Fontaine is like, let's go to Liyue.
So appetizing that Lynette
Yeah.
took a huge mouthful.
It's quite funny.
Blissfully
Like seeing
unaware
Nouvellette,
that
I was
she
like, huh?
about to set
What are you
her
doing
mouth
here?
on fire. She could barely speak for the rest of the
I
day.
wanted to see I wanted to see Zhongli and Nouvellette talk.
Luckily, that wasn't a huge adjustment for her.
Yeah, they avoided each other. It was horrible.
What?
But he gave us such a cute little soup ladle thingy. It was so cute.
Yes, a little.
I would have been so sad if I missed out on that event.
yes,
So I had
I'm
no
ready
idea
to
that was one of the
Traveler,
things.
I'm afraid we'll have to send you back to the
Like
kitchen.
if I found out and I didn't do that event, I would have been so mad. It was so cute.
Good question. I doubt we'll be able to decipher the menu, so why don't you recommend something? You should be pretty familiar
I
with
wouldn't
our
be
taste.
depressed, but I would be frustrated.
one more thing. Please, if you have a heart, don't make it spicy.
Make it spicy, got it. No, I wouldn't do that. Wah!
Healthy.
Fontaine, huh? No wonder they can't handle too much spice. Still,
is this a British joke?
If the food too bland, they might as well be eating back home. There's this crab and shrimp stir fry I know that could work. It's quite heavily seasoned, but it's a lot milder than it looks. It has a light but really satisfying flavor.
Ooh, that sounds perfect! What's it called?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. They call it the Palace Jewels. The crab roe is supposed to look like pearls of gold, and the shrimp meat like chunks of jade. Here's the recipe. When you're ready, go ahead and give it a try.
Crab mixing cook. Hey. We're cooking, chat. I like the lantern. Cute.
Sorry for the wait. This dish is called the Palace Jewels. Enjoy!
Yes. We meant to say, you two must be tired after a long day of work. Do you want to eat with us?
Oh, now that you mention it, Paimon is a little hungry. Well, if you insist, then who are we to refuse? Oh, right, of course. You're still our customers. Why aren't you eating?
The sauce looks a little overpowering.
Oh, according to Liyue custom, It's probably good table manners to let someone else go first.
They're scared.
Looks delicious, traveler. I guess I'll dig in first. Here goes.
Here you go, Lenny.
What is it? Do you need some water?
No. It's delicious. The flavor is so pure. It's drenched in sauce, but somehow it just enhances the natural flavor of the seafood. Try it for yourselves.
Alright.
They're like scared little kittens trying food for the first time.
What is that? Crab roe?
Yep, you have quite the palate, Lynette.
No wonder it pairs so well
I
with
mean,
the shrimp meat.
they do have
I've
cat
never
ears.
seen it prepared this way before.
According to the creator, chewy crab complements succulent shrimp, making a spectacular seafood ensemble with a succulent flavor and luscious mouthfeel. The crab roe glitters like pearls of gold, and the shrimp shines like chunks of jade. Hence its name, the Palace Jewels.
So that's where the name comes from. I suppose it's quite fitting then.
Huh. Was Paimon always this well-spoken?
This dish must be right up your alley, Lynette. Huh?
It's half gone already? When did that happen?
Oop. Probably when you're busy yapping away.
I heard that in Liyue. The biggest compliment you can pay to the chef is to leave a clean plate. It's delicious. Thank you ever so much.
Wait, don't fight over it! Hey, leave some for Paimon!
I have to starve myself if I want to eat a plate that big alone. Otherwise, I have to take the rest of it home with me.
Lynette's not usually so forthcoming about what she likes. But this time, well, she's expressed it in more ways than one. I guess you've rubbed off on her too. Or maybe your cooking is simply too delicious to resist. The next time our paths cross in Fontaine, you'll have to fire up your cooking skills for my other siblings as well. How does that sound, oh great master chef?
I missed Lenny.
Oh yeah? Well then, I'll have to clear my schedule.
I think I'm finally getting the hang of chopsticks. Yeah. Well, Lenny and Lynette picked it up in no time, but they're naturally dexterous. Unlike me, it's taken me a lot longer, but I'm slowly getting there. Oh, speaking of chopsticks, in one of the shows we've seen here, someone performed a conjuring trick using a bowl and chopsticks. So, if I want to be a good magician's assistant, I need to keep practicing.
There you are. Wondering where you went.
Calorie surplus detected. Digestion mode engaged. Yeah. Well, Lenny and I are usually careful about what we eat, because we have to stay in performance shape. That, plus it's generally bad manners to overindulge at the dinner table. But once in a while, it's nice to treat yourself in the company of family. Besides, if I'd waited until my brothers were finished trying to outpolite each other, the food would have gone cold.
I feel that. The battle of outpoliting people. Ooh. Sometimes I just give up. I'm like, alright, I'm tired of being polite. I shall break the ice. Wait, where am I going? Don't tell me. No, it's all the way up there! first part of the event. Wait, I did it again. I can't be this silly. Nothing happened. You saw nothing. Oof. You also heard nothing.
So your friends like the dish, huh? Well done. Not bad at all for your first day on the job. There'll be more to come, so keep it up. Morning. The boss tells me that both new and returning customers have nothing but good things to say about you. I have to admit, I was a little worried about throwing you right into the deep end, but it looks like you've got what it takes to handle the day-to-day here. So it should be plain sailing. Well, just as long as we don't run into any extremely picky customers with unreasonably specific requests.
Oh, have you had someone like that before?
Yes.
Of course. The worst are those old scholars who have barely cooked a day in their life, but think reading a stack of books on the topic makes them the expert. They criticize you for no reason, claiming your cooking method isn't faithful to the original, or that the flavor profile isn't authentic because you used an ingredient that wasn't in their beloved centuries-old version of the recipe.
This is Wang Shuin. It does have the look and feel of a time-honored establishment.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, innkeeper! We'll have each of your signature dishes, please. As fast
Each?
as you can serve them. The most expensive ones.
Farzan! Oops,
Ancient Hatsune Miku.
Oh my! Traveler, Paimon, whatever are you doing here?
We could ask you the same thing. Where'd you suddenly get the funds to go sightseeing? And to order the most expensive things on the menu?
I'm not here to sightsee. Exemplary scholars like myself are highly sought after by cruise operators in need of an onboard consultant as they travel the world.
Madam Farzan, please, slow down. None of us slept last night. How come Madam Farzan still has so much energy? If she's really over 100 years old, I don't understand how she keeps going.
I didn't realize her ear wiggles. That's so cute.
It's all my fault. She's been like this ever since I told her I'd be paying the expenses.
Oh. That explains everything.
Layla! And Dory? Huh. Never would have bet on this combination.
Temporary chef, huh? Wow. No rest for the wicked. Well, if the chef here is trusting you to run his whole kitchen, then I've got no doubt we're in for some authentic Liyue specialties.
So, why are you all in Liyue again? Something about being an onboard consultant?
I got my hands on a new boat from Fontaine a while ago, equipped with cutting-edge navigation technology. If we manage to spread the word, it could have huge business potential. Right now, we're doing some test runs. We sailed from Port Ormos to Rito, then from Rito to Liyue Harbor. Next, we're planning to go to Dornman Port.
Ooh.
Oh, Madam Farzan and me were hired to fine-tune the compass and other equipment.
We sailed around the Sea of Clouds all of last night to put the system through some stress testing.
Illegal overtime indeed.
Overtime for which they'll both be fairly compensated. They're both here willingly. The contract is crystal clear on that.
You really cover all your bases, don't you? Let Paimon guess. Paying the expenses is part of the compensation, isn't it? No wonder Madame Farozan is going for all the most expensive dishes.
It's not every day someone tells you to order whatever you like. Now, first up, we'll have the... Farzan, Madame Farzan, that is. While I am more than happy to treat you both to the most expensive dishes on the menu, we must remember that most expensive does not always mean best. I've heard that the most expensive dishes in Liyue are usually either seafood-based or take an exceptionally long time to prepare. Now, I don't know about you two, but after so many days at sea, I don't think I can so much as look at another piece of seafood again for at least the foreseeable future. Huh. That's actually a good point. Not to mention that poor Layla here looks like she's about to faint from hunger. Huh?
Oh, she's just eepy.
Surely the wise and virtuous Madame Farazan could not bear to watch her poor students sit here and waste away. Oh, well, of course I care about my students' well-being, but why do I feel like I'm being tricked? So, let's not order anything that'll take too long to prepare. Aside from that and seafood, we'll take whatever other expensive dishes you have. Over to you, traveler. No seafood and nothing that takes too long to cook. The rest is up to you. I had my eye on Adeptus Temptation, bamboo shoot soup, and golden shrimp balls. But I suppose they'll have to wait for the next time. But that could be years from now. Aww, Madame Farazan looks so deflated all of a sudden. Please still try to choose dishes on the expensive side, okay?
Don't mind me just walking all over the counter.
But no seafood, and nothing that takes too long to cook. That rules out pretty much our entire menu. Do these people get a kick out of being impossible to please?
That Dory! Is she doing this on purpose?
This isn't Liuli Pavilion or Shinua Kiosk. This is Wangshu Inn. We don't stock up on rare and exotic ingredients. We only get them in if someone puts in a special reservation. Well, if we're stuck with regular ingredients and we're on a time limit, there's only one way to bump up the price. And that's by cooking a dish that uses the chef's expertise and creativity to the fullest. As it happens, I know a recipe for something called trembling strings and rushing reeds. It can be whipped up quickly with what we already have in the kitchen. One plate usually goes for 30,000 mora.
30,000? But if it's quick to make and isn't fancy, what exactly makes it so special?
Quick doesn't have to mean quick and easy. To perfect this dish, you need expert knife work and very precise control over the heat. You have to finely slice several different types of meat into fine threads, knead them together into strips, then gently stir-fry them in the pan. What you end up with is a whole variety of flavors that come through layer by layer. This dish is unique in offering a harmonious blend of multiple kinds of meat, all cooked to perfection, while still bursting with their own distinct flavors. Do it right, and you've got a culinary masterpiece in your hands. But if you botch it, it's just a bunch of meat thrown on a plate.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! So this dish gets its value not from the ingredients, but the chef's expertise!
Now don't worry. I can take care of the kneading and other prep work for you. You just focus on bringing it all together.
Believe in yourself. You can do this! And if you mess it up, Paimon will still be happy to eat it.
delightful. Oh, we meant to ask, have you two eaten breakfast yet? If not, why don't you join us at the table?
Did Dory just offer us a free meal? When did she become so generous?
Let's not forget that the biggest business deals are always settled over a meal. Come on, come on, come on, sit down and join us. Everyone, dig in. This dish looks simple enough, and I did my research, so surely it can't cost all that much. Worst case scenario, maybe 10,000 mora?
This dish had better be worth working overtime all night for. Well, traveler, this is the moment of truth.
Oh, so tired. So sleepy. I just want to eat up and get to bed. Is this foul? Oh, wait. No, the texture is more like shroom boar.
There's a different flavor in every bite. And the discerning palate might detect a hint of something smoked, too. Quite marvelous. How is this made? Ham? But I don't see any ham anywhere. Oh. Haha! So you've noticed. Yep, every single strip is kneaded from several different kinds of meat. Paimon and Yanxiao put in a lot of effort to make it just right.
So I'm not an expert or anything, but don't different meats have different cooking times? How is everything in this dish cooked to perfection?
Well, you see, Wow! So this dish really is one of a kind. That makes the whole trip worth it. By the way, does this special dish have a name? Paimon forgot to mention that part. The dish is called Trembling Strings and Rushing Reeds, alluding to the way that the different threads of meat are woven together. And also, the complex layers of flavor, yes? Akin to the harmonies of a musical ensemble. The name, if I'm not mistaken, is a Liyue idiom that evokes a vigorous orchestral performance featuring both stringed and wind instruments playing together. Quite an apt name for this dish. How did you know all that? Every student has to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
20.
Wait, is that not a requirement?
Requirement.
Huh? Oh, that used to be a thing?
Oh, Paimon almost forgot that you're also from Haravatat.
So, anyway, how much does this dish cost?
Oh, don't worry, not too much. That'll be, 30,000 more, please and thank you.
30,000?
You didn't think this through, did you?
About that, Paimon, traveler, I nearly invited you to join us at the table, did I not? I don't believe I committed to paying for you. So, perhaps we could split the bill accordingly?
I don't think so.
I knew it was too good to be true. Yeah, as a famous merchant, you've got a reputation to uphold.
But every single mora matters, you know? All right. I'll just consider that the cost of learning about this dish. Once I'm back in Sumeru, I'll be sure to find someone to help me recreate the dish. And then I'll make it all back.
Ooh. Thank you for the follow, Jay. Welcome.
I feel so much better now that I've gotten some food in me. Delicious food really does wonders for one's spirit. My advisor said that young people shouldn't stay cooped up in the academia all the time. They told me that I should take the chance to get out and see the stars in other skies.
Good day indeed.
Maybe I can think of it as my first internship experience. But it sure is exhausting.
How are you doing this fine evening? Hmm?
We're off to a good start this morning. Keep up the good work. I'm counting on you.
My spirits always, and yourself? I'm doing better. Pretty chill. Wow.
Morning. Time to fire up the stove for another day of customers. Thanks again. Great work! Well, you're looking more like a head chef every day. Whatever crazy characters come walking through that door, I know you'll be able to handle them.
Wait, no! Every time you say something like that, you jinx it!
Hey, that's not true.
Are you sure?
Anyway, I didn't mean it like that.
Here we go. It's starting.
Dude, what up, bro?
Oh, it's Ito.
I didn't know you were in Liyue too. It's always nice to run into a broad,
Oh, boy.
fellow. Wait, did I say that right?
Almost. I think you meant fellow Inazuman abroad, boss.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, we gotta look out for each other.
Ayato too?
Don't we, Ayato?
You know, the other day I said I missed him. And now here he is.
Huh? Oh, hey, flying lavender melon. The sky-cleaving white iron variety. And my compadre, too. All my buddies in one place. God, today's my lucky day.
Didn't you say you were gonna knuckle down and earn some more when you got home? How come you're back in Liyue so soon?
Uh-oh.
That could wait. As soon as I announce that Arataki Ito is available for hire, they'll be throwing Mora at me. Right now, I got a more urgent situation to attend to. I'm in the mood for some good, spicy food. Oh, and while we're here, we were gonna also see if Grandmaster Hanakado's okay and whatnot.
Not too long ago, I heard a rumor that someone was hosting an Onikabuto fighting contest in Liyue.
Really?
Naturally, I came here as soon as I could. But
how did that
alas,
happen?
It was too late.
What? You missed it? Aw, man, what a bummer!
Quite the bummer, indeed. Though all is not lost. Since you're here, you'll be able to tell me all about it.
Sure thing, my man. But let's catch up over.
I never thought I would see these two together.
Anyway, hey, get the chef out here. I got compadres to feed.
I am the chef.
Yeah, sure, me too. Wait, what?
Wow, Bullchucker set up that one for us really nicely. Gotta give him some credit for that.
Who's my favorite character? Probably Nouvelette. Or Yai. Yai Miko. I have a lot of favorite characters. Zhongli would be another.
Good one, compadre. You almost got me there. All right, well, get the chef out here.
How about you?
So, may I take your order? If you're entertaining guests, I can recommend the Palace Jewels, a Trembling Strings and Rushing Reeds, or...
Boss, don't forget the budget.
Yeah, okay. Got anything a little more, down to earth?
Gel? Oh, I love Gel. He's definitely baby girl.
Oh,
He's so
well,
cute.
we do a mean humbly enough. Real hearty dish with a ton
Oh,
of flavor,
Hutao is
and we
another one of
don't
my
skimp on the
favorites.
portion
How could I
size either.
forget?
That'd be the best
Oh my
value for
goodness.
your Mora.
Humbly enough, huh? Oh, sounds like my kind of grub. We'll take that. No need for anything fancy. We're all friends here.
Excellent choice, Ito. I'm no fan of culinary ostentation either.
What server do I play on? NA.
Sometimes a bro
Well, at least
just
on this
knows.
game.
A bro just knows. Yes, a bro just knows. Bros don't suppose, 'cause bros just knows.
Is this for real? Oh, whatever. Paimon's leaving you guys to it.
Ito. Do I do reviews? I do not. At least not yet. I'm pretty new to streaming. I only started just in the middle of last year.
Seriously, if I'd blinked, I would have missed it. Crimson Staff just launched itself at Bloom Pruner and sent it flying.
I'd expect no less of the bona fide Beetle Battle King himself. It sounds like a truly epoch-defining duel.
I don't think I'm too well versed to be able to review people and their accounts.
Gotta say, your friend's quite a character. Still, humbly enough isn't that hard to make, so I don't think we'll have any problems with this order.
Actually, what
Oh no!
humbly enough anyway?
Not Chi-Chi.
A hearty meat dish is a good start, but in Paimon's
Woo! Welcome. Sorry if I yelled into the mic.
I
Welcome,
said
welcome.
It was hearty, but I never said it contained meat. Don't be fooled by the appearance. It's actually just tofu,
How you doing?
made to look and taste like meat.
Wait, tofu's made of beans, isn't it?
My bottle's going crazy? Yeah. Can't handle this graphic.
What's the issue?
Graphic's too strong for me.
Wait, what are you doing? The kitchen is staff members only. Never mind. I'll let it slide. Ma'am, could you possibly ask your boss to order something else instead?
No one gets my bro Ayato like I do. I hereby declare that Humbly Enough will be an everlasting symbol of our friendship, or my name ain't Aratakito! Hey, where's our food at? Hurry up, I'm almost done recounting the epic adventures of Crimson Staff.
Ito, please.
As you can see, changing the order may be a little difficult.
Oh, brother, his old
Spare
father
us.
is writing on this, huh? Even if we break the news to him, he'd probably rather eat the tofu than eat his words.
Sounds good. I'll make sure he fills up.
You might
on
be
those.
drawing with stream in the background.
We'll just have to
Feel
play the
free.
rest by ear.
Also, I want to say, I'm really proud of you for drawing. Keep it up. Yeah, I'm proud of you too. You've grown a lot. Quite fast. Oh. Yeah, it's always good to take breaks. Glad that you're good now. Here. Head back.
so this is humbly enough. You guys don't mess around. Woo! Love me that portion size. Come on, compadre, grab a seat. We're all friends here, so don't hold back. I'm just gonna dig right in.
Boss, we should respect the local customs. Here in Liyue, it's polite to let the guests eat first.
Ooh.
Polite?
But-
Shinobu, I thought old-timey traditions weren't your style. Huh? Are you kidding me, compadre? Oh, wait, I get it. The food smells so dang good, now everyone's dying to go first. Well, guess I only got my own good taste to blame. Go on, dive in. I'll wait till last.
I see.
Finally, it's my turn. Woo-hoo! I spy a big chunk of deliciousness with my name on it.
Wait! Don't.
Oh.
Huh? Wait, what is it now?
Okay, here goes. Anyway, so, Paimon forgot to tell you the really cool origin story of this dish.
Origin story? Dude, who cares where it came from? We all know where it's going. Am I right? Down the gullet.
Skipping the origin story is like going traveling without a tour guide. Trust Paimon, you get way more out of the experience after you hear it.
Paimon makes an astute observation. Much as every tea must be appreciated on its own terms, is it not a waste of the chef's goodwill to sample a dish without hearing its tale?
My compadre's goodwill, huh? Can't have that going to waste. All right then, give me the full story. I'm all ears.
That's more like it. Let's start with the ingredients. Actually, no. Let's start with the story of Wang Huan, which starts with the history of Dihua Marsh.
Now's our chance, traveler.
Man, the tale of Dihua Marsh hits hard. People in the past had it pretty rough. Makes you appreciate what you got. Humbly enough, yeah, that's a good way to think about life.
Darn, there's no segue to tofu from here. How did we get so off topic? Well, good news is there's only a little bit left.
Oh, compadre, Shinobu, have you been eating this whole time? Save me some dreads, why don't ya?
Oop.
That's it, I'm done waiting. It's my turn to eat.
Wait, boss, that's made of...
One
Not the
moment,
tofu.
Ito. I have a small request, if you would be so kind as to consider it. I left home in a
Isn't
hurry
he
and
allergic to nuts?
was unable to bring
Or was it
any of
tofu?
my family with me. They've all heard so much about you and are huge admirers of the Arataki gang, so they will be devastated to learn that they missed out on this opportunity. However, if you were willing to let me bring the remaining portion of Humbly Enough back to them, I'm sure it will help to lift their spirits.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boss, you gotta do right by your friends. They're pretty big on that in Liyue. Besides, you did eat quite a lot of the grilled fish while we were waiting for the main course. Including mine and Ayato's.
Oh.
Huh? Oh, those were for you guys? Ah, dang it. I got too carried away telling that story, didn't I? In that case, pass my regards to your fan, bro. El Chefe, can we get the rest of this to go?
El Chefe. Oh.
Count Crushmore. Instant kill. I never knew there were so many elite beetle fighters in Liyue. Can you imagine? That would be tardiness of the most unfashionable variety. No, in truth, this trip is part business, part leisure. Every visitor has their own agenda. For some, the festivities are all the more reason to visit. For others, all the more reason to avoid the crowds. In any case, one way or another, I seem to have ended up in the right place at the right time. Now, as for the leftover tofu... Yes, I'm sure Toma will dispose of it as he sees fit.
have to get back to the docks as soon as this meal is done. Well, thing is...
I can explain. Boss recently found work as a sailor, which allowed him to hitch a ride here. After the ship docked, he had some free time to do as he pleases. He's been using that time to hang out with Grandmaster Hanakato.
Just because he's here already! No other reason!
Oh yeah, he's allergic to beans. Yeah, that's why I can't have tofu.
Looks like that's all sorted. All right. Take some time to collect yourself. The next big group is coming in.
Spare me. Wow. Wait, what am I doing? Beep.
How time flies. My burns are almost healed now, so I should be ready to take back the kitchen tomorrow. You've really gone above and beyond these past few days. Last day today. Here's hoping we get through it without incident.
Why does Paimon feel like you just jinxed us again?
Who shall be the guest this time?
We made it all the way to the evening. It ended up being a pretty smooth day after all. Maybe it's because we've gotten so experienced at running this whole thing. We've come a long way since our first day on the job, haven't we? Back then, we were struggling to remember who ordered what. But everything's a piece of cake now.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, but who would come by this late in the evening?
Maybe Zhao?
Actually, now that Paimon
Oh.
thinks of it, Lenny and his siblings came around about this time the first day, didn't they?
Traveler? Paimon? Fancy seeing you two here.
Amber?
Well.
And Mika too! Are you here for dinner? Why so late in the day?
We just finished an escort mission for a merchant caravan. The original plan was to make do with some rations for this evening and continue our trek north towards Stonegate.
Did his voice change?
Captain Mila brought up the fact that none of us have eaten Liyue cuisine for quite some time. We thought we might as well swing by the inn and
Sounds a lot
see if we can still
nerdier.
order something.
Ooh, so this is Eula's treat, huh?
We've been eating the same rations for the entire trip, so I simply thought it was high time we had ourselves a proper meal. Do you have a problem with that? Good question. What should we get? Wait a sec. Where are you taking our order?
The Traveler's been filling in for the chef here. You come at just the right time. You'll be the last customers to enjoy his cooking before the original chef takes back the reins.
Wow, really? Good thing Eula suggested we come here. I wouldn't want to miss this. So, what shall we get? I'm not as familiar with Liyue cuisine as I used to be. Mika, Eula,
I love how they changed the music for every single one of the guests.
Anything goes. I'm just looking
Based on the
forward to
region.
trying the honorary knight's cooking for myself. I'm sure it'll be a great learning opportunity for me.
Something small, I suppose. We have to hit the road again after we eat. Beyond that, anything goes.
Wasn't it your idea to come here, though? Yeesh, this is like getting blood from a stone. All right, guess it's up to you, Amber. You name it, we'll cook it.
Huh? Then I guess... I don't really mind either. Anything goes.
This is like asking your partner what you want for dinner. But they don't know. And you don't know either.
Sorry. I really can't think of anything off the top
Or maybe you do know, but you're just too polite.
I mean, I could pick
And then
from
they're
the
also
menu at
polite.
random, but I'd feel more comfortable leaving the chef to choose. Oh, one thing. I know I said I don't mind what we have, but no alcohol, please. Neither of them can drink.
It's a real pity.
And you have to get back home
still
too.
got some sparkling water here.
I don't know, I'm pretty decisive when it comes to what I want to eat. But living in a small town, it's quite limited.
This is a chef's
Not a lot
worst
of
nightmare.
choices.
With no idea of your customers' palates, you're left to make a wild guess. Still, now that you've worked in the kitchen for so many days, I have faith that you'll be able to figure it out. Go on, show them what you've got.
Probably something with meat. Or something soupy. The soup. Aha! I think I know what we're making. Bamboo shoot soup? Probably. Oops.
This is delicious. Perfectly seasoned, and even the rice is bursting with flavor.
Nothing like a piping hot meal served straight from the stove. I've missed this.
You've put the finest Favonian field rations to shame, and that's no mean feat. So, tell us, traveler, what's this one called?
It's cubs! Paimon's guessing we can't just call it anything goes, right? Oh, hell, Paimon doesn't know how to explain this dish at all. It's got no name, it's just basic ingredients simply cooked.
Basic ingredients? Simply cooked? Really? I could have sworn that you put something fancy in here. Or gave it some kind of chef's magic touch.
Not the finest dish in the world, but the one they need right now. Okay, you've lost Paimon. What do you mean?
So you mean we only think this is delicious because we're so hungry? There's got to be more to it than that.
Perhaps the fact that the aroma of freshly cooked hot food is a welcome change from cold, pre-prepared rations.
Oh, kinda like the feeling of waking up to the smell of freshly baked bread in the morning? Huh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost like we're back at Good Hunter again. But Good Hunter's in Mondstadt. Why make a point of trying Liyue cuisine if you can't even taste the difference?
Oh, I'm not talking about the taste. I just meant the feeling of comfort, you know? It's like the feeling of coming home.
Comfort. Coming home. Well, Yanxiao did say we want to make our guests feel right at home.
So in other words, the secret ingredient is passion?
Passion.
Despite how terribly cliched that sounds, I'll admit that it holds true for this meal. Well played. Mark my words, I'll remember this recipe.
Okay, but you can't really have a recipe without a name though, right? Have we come up with a name for this dish yet? How about right at home.
The rations we brought were adapted from my signature moon pies to come up with something even tastier. I gotta hand it to you. You did a great job. Still, please do drop by and try a few Stormcrest pies next time you're in town. I insist.
Sorry. I zoned out just now. Didn't see you coming. Yeah, that food you cooked for us just now? It reminded me of the meals my grandfather used to make for me. I thought I'd forgotten how they tasted, but it all came rushing back. He used to make Liyue dishes all the time. I'd do my outrider training with him until the evening, then wait patiently at the dinner table. I'd sit there with the smell of delicious food wafting in from the kitchen, waiting for him to finally emerge with the goods. Sometimes we'd have Eula around for dinner, and even though she'd always find something to complain about, I could tell she really enjoyed the food. Your words, not mine. Don't ask her about it. She'll only give you another earful.
Back when I was on the expedition with the Grand Master, I was often put in charge of cooking. Under the circumstances, I could only cook some pretty crude meals. But everyone still enjoyed them a lot. Maybe passion was the secret ingredient then too.
Passion.
There you are. Thank you for all of your hard work over the past few days. Straight down to brass tacks, are we? Here, take it. I've thrown in a little extra as well. Call it a bonus. Hard work is rewarded here.
Yay! It's like all the tiredness and stress have suddenly melted away.
I'm just lucky you only worked on this job for a few days. At the rate you were progressing, a few more weeks and I think I might be made redundant. Anytime. Bring some friends with you next time, and I'll show you all what Smiley Yenshao can do when working with both hands intact.
Great! Although, just to be on the safe side, cook carefully in the meantime. You may have just jinxed it again.
Cute little event. Oh, might as well get those primos. Yeah. Ha.
Get out of here! Out of the way! Adventure time!
Evil conquering!
last trip. Thank you for
I think I'm due a tiny bit of pools on the weapon banner. Nope. Nothing. It's okay.
My contraptions are calibrated. We may now depart.
Alright, chat. I think I'm gonna end stream tonight. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. See y'all another time. Mayhaps tomorrow. We shall see. Bye.